Okay, so hi, my name's Anna Marie Craughwell. I was previously Anna Marie Morrissey. I suppose people might know me when I was involved in the ladies and the underage girls soccer at the time. So I got involved back in the mid-noughties. I was asked to come down and just, it was a bit of a funny story actually. I'd forgotten this until you asked. I was at a match where they were already playing a game and I never played in my life, never played soccer in my life. I didn't even have football boots, had nothing with me. And someone got injured, so they didn't actually have enough to play. So they asked would I stand in. I just stood in for half an hour, so I thought that'd be it. I'd go off home, never think of it again. And that was the start of it. I was involved for probably 10 years after that. And I just got the bug. I absolutely loved that game, and I just was like, oh my God, why haven't I been playing this all my life? And the team were great. I know there was Laura Nolan was heavily involved, Donald Tarpey, Paul Holland, Emer and Catherine Moore were involved. So we got then, I suppose we kicked off training, you know, we were involved in all the games. We had a number of seasons. We had huge involvement, I suppose, trying to get the team together and just coming out to training, and like we've a very miserable day today. We came out in days like this. We had such crack, we had such fun. And then I was asked to be involved in the committee. I was heavily involved in that for a number of years, and being involved, I suppose, with the building of the club and fundraising. I didn't actually have any kids myself at the time, so it was lovely to be able to give that commit at that time, and to see, you know, people from small kids to be involved and grown over the years, and people putting in time and effort voluntarily. Like it was such a community spirit, and it was like, even on bad days we were out there kicking the ball around, and it was just, I made lifelong friends that I'm still friends with. I've been to their weddings, I've been to their christenings, so it was a huge impact in my life. We did see a gap then, I suppose, at the time where the boys academy was doing really well under John Power, and we decided then, look, we'll try and kick off a girls academy. So there was myself, Emer Moore, Laura Nolan, Donald Tarpey and Paul Holland standing out the backfield there one very, very cold Saturday morning, and we had 3 girls turn up, and we thought, oh God, what have we done? And we kept at that for a couple of weeks, and suddenly word kind of started to spread that, hey, there's something going on here, and we started to get numbers up and up and up. And we played some really good games. We had lots of fun along the way. We did a lot of away games. We had some home games, and we got, to be fair, I suppose, we had girls then that we trained were coming to play with us on the senior team. So it was really, really good to see that. Probably standout moment for me, and probably a big moment in my life overall, you know, as I say, apart from include, I suppose, my wedding day and the kids, was probably winning the final in, as it's now called, Eamon DC Park, was Terryland at the time. We played the previous year, I think it was 2007, 2008, we lost, I actually can't remember who we lost to, but I remember then in the final, the next year, we won. We beat Cosharaga. I think the scoreline, I could be wrong, was probably 4 or 5-0, and probably one of the best moments of my life. Memory mightn't be great, but I remember that day. Probably get a little emotional about it, but it was just, it was fabulous. It was a fabulous day. But best memories, and it's such a good community feeling here, and just even to walk in here today and to see all the people involved, and I know like Louise is doing a great job with the ladies team, and just, you know, I suppose I have 3 little kids myself, and you know, even to see the difference volunteering and Renmore soccer makes to people's lives, it's fantastic, and please God, we'll be here for a long time more.
Absolutely. You were involved in a very pivotal moment, particularly of the clubhouse.
Yes.
The whole process.
And the only woman on the committee member at the time, on the committee, I believe.
And now we're seeing growth, like more and more women involved in it.
Brilliant. Yeah.
As being that sort of groundbreaker at that time, what were your memories of that time?
Well, I just remember, to be fair to anyone else on the committee, it was never like I was the only woman on the committee. It was like we were a committee. It wasn't a big deal. You know, it wasn't such a big deal. It was like you were just one of the committee, and that was it. But I just remember feeling there was never any moment where it was like everyone pulled together. I suppose it wasn't like I was doing the most or someone else. Everyone just pulled together, and I just remember, you know, we'd be here on cold Sunday evenings trying to do charity events and organising stuff, and I just always, I suppose, felt very welcome and felt like we were making a huge difference, and just the excitement. And like I suppose to point out, I'm not from the area, I'm from Clare myself, but I never felt, as we'd say, a blow-in or an outsider, and just a sense of community, and people were so excited on the day. That day we opened here at the clubhouse and had that 5k run and that charity event. It was such a brilliant feeling to say, oh my God, like look what we've achieved. And I know there was years of work behind that. It wasn't just a one-day thing or a couple of months of fundraising, but no, it was just fantastic to be able to give something back to the community. So yeah, it was fantastic.
And it's interesting now to see the growth of girls soccer.
Yes.
You mentioned you were part of that resurgence of girls soccer back in the noughties, and it was growing. How do you feel now, a parent of young children, watching all these girls playing in soccer? What's your feeling now towards the importance of clubs like Renmore?
Oh, it's so important. Like I know, I suppose ladies and women's soccer and underage soccer has been, something that Renmore Soccer have been involved in over the years. I know they had teams in the 80s and the 90s from a ladies soccer perspective. So I suppose they've always had some hand in the community from back that far. But like, you see, I know, as I said, I mentioned I had 3 boys, but just I'd always be quite proud of the what Renmore has done for underage soccer, for ladies soccer. Just it's so proud. You see the Ireland ladies team qualifying for the World Cup. The thought that potentially we may have somebody on that team one day, like that's not just a dream. That's the reality now. Like seeing what has been put into the club, what's there now. It's not a dream. That's most likely something that would happen, which wouldn't have even been thought of when we were standing out there 15 years ago in the cold with 3 young girls thinking, where do we go from here? It's a reality now, and that's something huge. And I suppose I wouldn't even have thought of it, Tom. Like, I had a hand in it, and like that's something to be hugely proud of, and like whoever else was involved with me at the time. And it's not just one person; it's all of us along the way, building those blocks to where we are now. It's incredible.
I think it's funny at that time, because I remember running the academy when we had 30 kids, and you were running soccer and you had 3 girls,
Yeah.
and now we have a club of 500 members.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Yeah.
Amazing, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So you mentioned about a couple of standout memories. I mean, if you were to say there's one thing that you're particularly proud of all of the achievements in your time in the club, what would that be, do you think?
I probably would say, personally, from my own personal perspective, would be winning that cup final. I've never been involved in anything like that before in my life, nor since, unfortunately. But that was just a moment where I was like, I think this is probably one of the happiest moments of my life. And at the time, I remember thinking, does life get better than this? And probably as well, when I did have to give up the academy, the girls like just presented me with the ball with my name on it, and all the little memories that they had of me, and I was like, wow. I hadn't realised, I suppose, the impact we had on them at the time, so that was really special.
Yeah. All the friendships are important.
Yeah, and even just seeing people like the girls that we coached, meeting them now and knowing that they're still involved, and some of them back playing with the senior team, you're just thinking, like, that's, we helped form that, so that's very special. So it's probably 3 standout moments, yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, there's always been a tradition of ladies soccer in Renmore. It's grown. When we started, we decided to resurrect it again around the 2000s, where we started off with 3 girls in the academy to what we have today, where we've over 300.